Let's go back to one of our big stories for this morning. The ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is expected to announce the new provincial premier. KZN Finance MEC Dube and ANC members of the provincial legislature, Amanda Bani and Mbali Fraser, are vying for that position. One of them will become KZN's first female premier. Zikalala resigned after losing the position of KZN ANC chairperson in recent elections. For more on these developments, we're joined by political analyst Mr. Bongani Dube. Mr. Dube, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Essentially, KZN is about to make history with that announcement of the first female premier. But before we take a look at the candidates, can we just perhaps take a look or dissect Sihle's resignation, particularly his address? At one point, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, in a revolution, one revolutionary should not become the subject of debate or controversy and distract the collective from the mission at hand. What did you make of that?
Look, we have to understand that Sihle Zikalala has been the common denominator when it comes to the destruction of the ANC in the province. And in summary, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And so I don't think that was there anything else that you can expect to his downfall, because if you can look back how he has been operating in the province until he ascended to the highest position in the province, it was not a true reflection of someone who has been or who has been mentored and groomed within the ANC. He has been a person who has been backstabbing people, and so I don't think really that whatever that he is saying we can take it serious. It's just someone who has fallen on his sword, because this is how he has been operating in this province.
Mm-hmm. Does this resignation perhaps also, though, suggest that they still battle with where the power lies in the whole two centers of power argument? Because we thought they had resolved that one and decided that power lies within the party, and then the party goes on to deploy somebody to head government. Is it that here, or like you say, it's just purely the backstabbing issue? There are no problems with where the power lies. That's why you've got these three women who are not the chair actually probably going to take up the post now.
Remember when ANC went to Mangaung, they argued that the ANC is the center. There are not two centers of power, but ANC is the center. But we know it very well that post that, it was just paying lip service to that particular concept to say ANC is the center and then they can deploy anyone. Because I think at the end of the day, we have to understand that politicians, what they are always seeking is just that highest position of being the premier, of being the MEC, or of being the minister. And so the center here is their greediness, is their lust for power and for material resources. Coming to the issue of the three women who have been, recommended to occupy this position. Look, it is such a shameful act from the ANC in the province, knowing very well that the ANC in the province has been destroyed by the males. And then when the ANC is no more, and then they throw in these women to this den of, because at the end of the day, whoever is going to emerge is no Musa or Bani or Fraser, but most probably it might be Nomsa Dube. We have to ask ourselves, how are we going to remember him? Because at the end of the day, we only remember the one who have reached the finishing line, whether he has won or has won or not. But look, what they've done to these three women, I think is very painful, because if you look also at these three women, they are not in the inner circle. The people who are in the inner circle is your Duma, and your Begim Dolo and your Junda and your Sipot Lomoga. And so we have to ask ourselves, if these women or one of these women has been appointed, how she's going to freely carry his innovative way to take KwaZulu-Natal forward as well as the ANC. The fact is, they are going to put the leash on her and then they will be controlling her. And so that's the most painful thing. I think that if ANC was serious about the women empowerment, in that previous conference, that's where they were supposed to elect a woman because not in this one, in the previous one, they were supposed to appoint instead of Sihle. Or if they are saying that they are ANC is the center and there is no issue of the center of two centers of power. They were supposed to nominate Nomusa from the beginning, not Sihle. And so this is an opportunistic kind of act from the men who are controlling the KwaZulu-Natal.
But Golani,
ANC.
even in these elections that we come from just now, I mean, she was nominated from the floor. She didn't meet the threshold. What does that say? I mean, because some analysts were saying it's because she hadn't nailed her colors to the mast. She really wasn't aligned to any particular faction, so some of the branch members didn't know what she stood for. I don't know how true is that, or if you share those sentiments.
Look, that's what I'm saying. You know, if ANC is saying Nomusa is the person who's supposed to lead the province of KwaZulu-Natal, why in this ANC conference they never elected her to become the chairperson? That's why I'm saying this is a shameful opportunistic endeavor or venture by the males who control the KwaZulu-Natal. And so I really feel sorry for her, you know, because he has been thrown into something that is not of her own doing, you know, but is theirs. And so I believe the people of KwaZulu-Natal possible. You know, there's another issue of democracy. You know, if people of KwaZulu-Natal were given an opportunity years and years back to choose their own premier or to choose their own reforms in the ANC electoral system, possibly Nomusa was going to be elected before Sihle, you know. And so now we are in a very sad situation where we have to say, yes, she's a woman, she's supposed to take over, but what she's taking? You know, she's taking something that is hollow, she's taking something that has been destroyed, and then at the end of the day, we as the people of KwaZulu-Natal, we are going to blame her to say, look, where we are is because of your leadership, because she's going to become the premier, and so no one else that we can blame except her. But as I'm saying, this is a very sad thing that they've done to these women that have been recommended to lead the province.
But Golani, any new person then would be coming to the challenges because they have had a flood. That was a natural disaster. They're still trying to recover from that. They're still trying to recover from the July unrest. So any individual clearly would have come into a lot of work that needs to be done. So is it really just because she's a woman, or even any other male that was not even in government before would also have this task lying ahead of them?
Look, when you talk about government, you talk about an institution. You know, you talk about an institution that got all the systems and structures to prevent, to deal with these disasters. You know, for the mere fact that these disasters caught us naked, it shows that we don't have a government that is ready to govern or a party that is ready to govern, you know, because any disaster, you know, if you govern a country, you must know that you have to expect such kind of unforeseen circumstances, you know. And so that's why I'm saying Sihle and these men who are appointing or who are recommending these women or who are going to appoint Nomusa, they've destroyed all the systems and structures. There are no systems and structures. And so it's not easy for her to start to build these systems and structures in less than a year.
But she's been a part of government. She could be equal to the task. She's been a part of government, a very key portfolio, heading finance. So clearly, I mean, she's even spoken to some of the flood victims. And she spoke, she was assertive, she held her own, and she really does go to the level and address people in a language of their own and really become transparent. Who's to say she's not equal to the task?
Look, we're talking about an institution here, or not an individual. That's why I'm saying the whole ANC institution has destroyed the systems and structures. And so, hence I'm saying we cannot expect her as an individual to be the savior or to come with the salvation for the people of KwaZulu-Natal. The whole systems and structures have been destroyed by the whole organization, of which is the ANC. That is my main argument, because the more we earmark that she's the first woman, she's this woman, she's that woman, we are giving her the most unexpected kind of task, because we know it very well that she's not going to perform this task because she's inherited a burning house. And so she's got no enough water to do the fire extinguisher. The house is burning. And so I don't think that she's going to be able to solve the problems of the ANC, as well as to solve the problems of our province. Because if you look at the socio-economic skewedness in our province. And look at how many months that is left for her to change this whole thing. Let me tell you something. As I've said, we'll remember her as someone who has failed the people of KwaZulu-Natal.
Golani, thank you very much, though, for your insights. That's political analyst Bongani Dube. Let's